Please welcome Brandon. Come on up, Brandon.
So when you're 17 and full of hormones, you feel everything that much more strongly. When you're sad, you're really sad. And when you're horny, you're really sad because there's nothing you can do about it because you're scared to talk to girls, let alone ask one on a date. But luckily, near the end of my senior year in high school, heaven sent me an angel named Susan. She broke my lifelong streak of being friend-zoned. She was the vice president of our school's Amnesty International Club. We were going to change the world by making free Mandela posters and writing letters to Sting. She would, that's what you do in Texas in 1990. She would smile at me a lot, and when she passed me in the hallway, she would whisper the words, "I love you." I still thought it was kind of a joke. I didn't know if she meant it seriously or if she was flirting. I was so naive. Finally, one day, she asked me if I wanted to come over to her house Friday night to play with her cats. I was such a virgin, I saw no double entendre in that sentence. Luckily for me, she made the first move and kissed me, my first kiss. She was diabetic, and I think it somehow affected the chemistry of her saliva because all her kisses tasted like nectar. They were sweet. And I thought, diabetics are delicious. What a gift. So before Susan came along, I spent all my time with my best friend, Daniel. So naturally, I thought, well, I would love Daniel and Susan to be friends because then we could all hang out together. The two most important people in my life, my best friend, my first girlfriend, perfect. So one day I invite Daniel over to Susan's house. Daniel meets Susan. Susan meet Daniel. Worst mistake of my life. Let's just say it was appropriate that in English class we were reading Julius Caesar. His literary joke. Here come the knives in my back. So suddenly Susan was busy all the time. I would call to ask her out. Oh, we're doing family things this weekend. I can't hang out. I called Daniel, and suddenly he had to work with his dad. I spent every weekend with Daniel for 3 years, but now this weekend, he was busy. After about a week of this, it was Susan's birthday. And I thought, well, Susan would obviously want to see her boyfriend on her birthday. I call her, "Happy birthday, when can I see you?" "Oh, we're just having a family dinner. You wouldn't want to come over, it's going to be boring." I'm like, "No, it's your birthday, I want to see you. I got you a present, I want to bring you your present." She's like, "I'll get it later, some other day." "Some other day? It's your birthday." She's like, "I got to go, my family's waiting for me." She's a terrible actress, so I knew for sure something's going on. So it's time for me to confront them. But that would take balls, and I didn't have balls yet. So instead, I decided to sneak over to Susan's house to spy on her and see what was really going on. So I get my mom's Honda Accord, and I'm driving up Susan's block slowly, and I get to the point where I can see Susan's house, and I see Daniel's station wagon parked in Susan's driveway. And next to it, I see Daniel's tongue parked in Susan's mouth, her sweet, sweet diabetic mouth. Lucky for me, they were so enraptured in their mutual betrayal, they didn't notice my car going in reverse and doing a U-turn out of there. Now, I just spent the rest of the summer being depressed and suicidal. Finally, I confronted Susan. I called her and said, "I just want to know the truth." And she admitted everything, and she apologized. And she said, "If it makes you feel any better, Daniel was a real jerk." No, it did not make me feel better, because if you're going to go to the trouble of stealing my girlfriend from me, at least be nice to her. As for Daniel, I was terrified to lose my friendship with Daniel, so I never said anything to him. We still hung out, but there was this unspoken tension in the air, and I didn't really trust him. After college, we lost touch, which was fine with me by then. A few years later, I was living in New York in my mid-20s. I hadn't talked to Daniel in about 3 years, and out of the blue, he called me. And he said, "Oh, I heard you're in New York and you're having a great time. I'm really happy for you." He started telling me about his life. He was living in Colorado. He had married a stripper who had a 4-year-old son. He grew attached to the 4-year-old son. He adopted the 4-year-old son. The stripper drained him of his bank account and left them, so he's raising the son by himself. And I could hear the kid screaming in the background, and Daniel kept yelling at him to like be quiet. Like, quiet, I'm on the phone. Quiet, I'm on the phone. I'm gonna spank you. You behave. I'm sorry, Brandon. Quiet, I'm on the phone. You better behave. I'm sorry about that, Brandon. You better sit down right now, David. Sit down. Brandon, I just want to say, I apologize for rambling. I'm really drunk, and I'm having a terrible time. My life sucks, to be honest with you. It's just really rough right now. And the whole time he's telling me a sob story, I'm thinking, this poor man. He really deserves all the shit he's getting. You reap what you sow, motherfucker. You reap what you sow. Thank you.
Give it up for Brandon.